Oh my god, is that real?
I think so. I found it on the ground.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
And you got to keep it?
Yeah.
You know what that is, right?
No.
Can I have it?
Yeah, how much is it worth?
$20.
Okay. Hey! I looked it up on the internet websites. It's worth 20 million.
Yeah, I knew that.
You scammed me.
No. I just said it's worth something it's not.
How do you have so much money already?
Oh, I just told people I'd give it to them, but I didn't.
That's literally fraud. You could go to jail.
Huh. Well, it's too late now.
Dumbass.
Hi, my name is Bob, and I'm going to talk about Roblox. Again. But I'll be honest, it's been a while since I made my last video about it, and I didn't really take the time to play it like I did back in the old days. And that's been on my mind more recently, especially seeing how popular the game has been the past few years. I've been pretty curious to see what it's like in the year 2020, so this time I wanted to do a little more than just talk about it. Instead, I wanted to also try Roblox again. Of course, I'm gonna do a lot of talking, because that's what I do, but I also wanted to try Roblox again and see what's changed in the past 10 years since I last played it, because well, times have changed.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. But seriously though, it's been a long time since I first played Roblox back in 2008. After seeing a few wholesome low-budget commercials for it on YouTube, I used to see little banner ads for it on sites like Newgrounds and Cool Math Games. And I was just looking for something fun to do on the weekends. So I tried it one day, and it quickly turned into a bit of an obsession. Since then, I've only really played it every once in a while, maybe goofing around with friends and looking for fun games to play. But it doesn't take long to see that Roblox now has a massive presence worldwide, with TV commercials, big YouTubers playing it daily, and the major influence it has in social media memes, and the endless amount of support from the community. Leaves me curious about why it's grown to the point it has, and how much different it's gonna feel when I take a deep dive into the game, playing it for a few months like any other super active Roblox player. But some of you might be asking, what is Roblox? Basically, Roblox was first created in 2004. It was originally called Dynablox after two guys named David and Eric who left their former company called MSC Software. It was basically a company that made simulation 3D software technology in California, and the two of them used that knowledge to create what's now known as Roblox, which officially launched on September 1st, 2006 as a free-to-play game. The name was later changed to Roblox because apparently Dynablox was hard to remember. But honestly, I kind of like it. I actually remember when I was a kid, I used to call it ROBLOX because my name is Robert, and me and my family just thought that for years. But then I watched the commercial and they said,
Roblox! It's free!
And I realized that everything I thought I knew was a lie. And if you were to ask me what Roblox is, well, it's a lot of things really. You could call it a game, and a lot of people do, but it's really a platform with a lot of different things to do on it. In fact, I'd say really anything on Roblox is fair game for whatever weird, profitable, or casual project you want to make. Basically, you can play games, and you can make them too. With Roblox Studio being a top-notch game editor capable of all kinds of projects, and the fact that it's completely free to use, fingers crossed, Roblox has the resources that give anyone with the proper patience and talent the unique ability to make, sell, and share all kinds of stuff, and advertise them directly on the website. Every minute, people are making all kinds of interesting projects, like restaurants, coffee shops, army groups, modeling, politics, news, airports, transits, hotels, libraries, and concert stadiums. And of course, all kinds of games you can actually play, too, not just concepts and pretty buildings. But one thing you could say about Roblox is that the social component has always been a very important part of the game. With a lot of events nowadays being mostly community-led, you quickly realize that if it wasn't for the community, I'm not sure the game would be nearly as popular. I mean, even David himself, the CEO of Roblox, calls the game a human co-experience. He doesn't call it a platform, he doesn't call it a tool, he calls it a human co-experience. And I'm guessing maybe it's because of all the role-playing games, but it makes you wonder what those Roblox HQ meetings are like. Hey guys, it's my first day. Hey, welcome to the team. Thank you, yeah, so I was working over at Java for a while, and I heard this game was pretty good. It is a game, right? Actually, we here at Roblox like to call it a human co-experience. Oh, what does that mean? It's basically an innovative platform where players from around the world have unique experiences in virtual worlds. Oh, so it's like Minecraft. I'm so sorry. But I guess you could say the label does have some truth to it.
We see a lot of things that we would intuitively not expect people to want to do together. People do like to do scary stuff.
No, but seriously though, I have a lot of respect for Roblox, but why are there so many games about babies? Adopt and raise a baby, adopt and raise a cute baby, live life as a baby, baby simulator, baby roleplay. Where's the baby? I mean, at this point, just get your own baby. No, but in all seriousness, while there might be a lot of weird games on there, I do have a lot of respect for Roblox, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. But I first want to talk about how insane its growth has been the past 4 years, being mostly word of mouth. You can see here that in 2006, Roblox only had 11,000 registered users. In 2008, that number went up to 1.9 million. And now in the year 2020, the game has over 200 million registered accounts. And sure, maybe a lot of them are bots, but you gotta admit, no advertising or marketing can generate this kind of exponential growth like Roblox has. Not to mention, Roblox on average has over 164 million monthly average users. Because unlike a lot of games, Roblox has the unique opportunity to take their hands off the wheel every once in a while. When they start to see games like Adopt Me, Jailbreak, Bloxburg, Work at a Pizza Place, and dozens of others being incredibly popular all on their own without any help from Roblox themselves. And also considering the fact that Roblox pays out over $250 million to their developers every year, there's a lot of competition, and I think Roblox encourages that. And sure, Roblox has had a lot of catchy slogans over the years, like Think, Build, Create, Powering Imagination, or It's Free. But at its core, it's always been based on the idea that it's in the hands of the community to build and make their own stuff that they can market and advertise the best they can directly on the website. It's also a big reason why Roblox is the leading game in multiple national markets, like the US, Canada, Brazil, Australia, and New Zealand. In 2016 especially, the game had a gigantic surge in popularity, and an even bigger one after March of this year, growing to the point where we start seeing Lil Nas X concerts, and rumors about Roblox potentially being a publicly traded company on the stock market. Not to mention the company itself is worth over $4 billion. Okay, quick update actually, apparently that $4 billion valuation was from February of 2020, then in October they said it was worth $8 billion, and then after making a bunch of money through a funding round, now they're saying it's worth $29 billion. What the f? The point being, Roblox is incredibly popular. And back when I played it, it was pretty simple. It didn't feel like a multinational success, nor nearly as intimidating as it might feel now. It had a lot of charm. The community was pretty small, and I was usually pretty excited to check the front page every day and try to make my own hit game. And back then, there wasn't any monetary incentive to make stuff. I just did it because it was fun. Sure, maybe I wanted to be popular, but that's pretty much it. But nowadays, you can make some serious money. A good example of this is the creator of Jailbreak, who paid for all 4 years of college with nothing but Roblox earnings. The weird thing about Roblox is despite the many positive things you could say about it, there's also just as many negative things you could say about it too. It's really the kind of game that trends on Twitter like Minecraft or Among Us, and the most attention it does get in the media is usually when the headline is about the hidden dangers of Roblox that every parent should know about. It's always had a weird stigma around it since 2013, from the numerous scandals, lawsuits, a 24-hour live stream where they left their microphone on.
It won't take you long to realize that Roblox doesn't give a f*** about our department.
And the countless yet valid criticisms it's gotten over the years have kind of muddied many people's opinions of Roblox, but I can say personally that being inside of that community for so many years, I think there's also a lot of things you can appreciate about Roblox. But that's the thing, I sometimes think about how this could have motivated me to play Roblox even more, but at some point it just didn't feel the same anymore. So a few years went by and I don't really keep up with it that much anymore. But looking back on my time on Roblox, it's kind of nice thinking about the days where my biggest concerns were my Animal Crossing town or yesterday's homework. I used to make videos, clothes, games, groups, all kinds of stuff. I joined war clans, I started fan clubs, I had a film crew, and I was also a pretty active user on the forums. It was probably the closest thing I used to social media at the time. In fact, I probably used it about as much as I use Twitter nowadays. Yeah, you gotta get off your phone. I'm not on my phone. Dude, I can see it in your hand. No. But then I even went to a Roblox convention in New York called BloxCon. I met David Baszucki. I got a signed poster, a t-shirt, and whatever these are.
Do you even live?
Horrible, I've seen it before.
Oh yeah.
This is the honest.
You do one of those animations.
Also, she said it's okay for me to mention this, but during the conference, apparently my mom fell asleep and she was snoring during the whole thing. You know what, I don't blame her, it was pretty boring. Oh, and during the Q&A, I asked when Roblox was going to be on Android, and they put it on Android a year later. But over time, my interest in the game slowly diminished, and I can at least say I'm glad that when I did stop playing, I didn't make one of those big dramatic forum posts about it. Guys, it's been great, but I think it's time to say goodbye.
Boo, get off the stage.
And I'm curious if I'll be able to replicate that feeling again, because it's been a while since I played Roblox for more than a couple minutes. So as I get older and slightly more grumpy in the midst of the end of the world and taxes, I find myself looking back on some of the things I'm super nostalgic about, like Webkins, Club Penguin, Toontown, Minecraft, Wizard 101, Hop Tropica on a school computer, and of course the game I really wanted to talk about today is Roblox. And for many years I spent a lot of my time just playing that and pretty much nothing else. It had more influence on me than any other game I played. And sure, yeah, maybe it wasn't the most popular game at school. Back then nobody really knew what it was, so while literally everyone else was playing Call of Duty, I was playing games like Who Killed iCarly, Justin Bieber, The Annoying Orange, Fred. You get the idea. And honestly, even though I was a little embarrassed to talk about Roblox at the time, I look back on it with a lot of nostalgia. And I guess I've been intrigued by feeling nostalgic about anything at all, especially a game like this. In fact, I often think about a quote from Donald Glover, who once said that a big reason for nostalgia on the internet is because we're afraid to move on. It comes from the idea that we can get so easily attached to the past that it prevents us from looking at the present or the future in the same way. Sometimes you gotta take off your rose-colored glasses and just take a good look around at things. So when I talk about nostalgia, I especially talk about Roblox. And I just want to know why I stopped playing it. I want to take a good look at Roblox without letting my nostalgic feelings blind me from my true feelings about the game in the year 2020. There could have been a number of reasons why I stopped playing it all of a sudden. It all reminds me of a tragic awakening I had when I opened a box of cosmic brownies for the first time in 14 years and it just didn't taste as good as they used to. I don't know, maybe my taste buds changed, maybe the ingredients are different, or maybe they didn't change at all. And I guess Roblox is like that cosmic brownie I haven't bitten into yet. Is it gonna taste as good as I remember? I don't know. So that's why I'm making this video. Because I thought maybe if I spend a few months playing Roblox for the first time in 10 years, I'll get a good idea of whether it's as good as I remember. And I mean, I'm not joking when I say I used to play Roblox a lot. Since I was a little kid, I was always really huge into filmmaking, and for some reason, Roblox felt like an opportunity for me to pursue my dreams in making a primetime Emmy Award-winning drama with literally nothing but Roblox Studio and a crappy screen recorder. I actually made a video talking about this a few years back, and I had about a dozen people who were interested who showed up every day. And honestly, it's been a while since I made a Roblox film. I wonder what that'd be like. And action.
Damn, can't believe we survived that.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. It's a good thing you had the sword.
God, the line is a sword, not the sword.
No, sorry about that.
Dude, calm down. It's just a movie.
Just a movie? But it's not just a movie, okay? This is gonna win an Emmy. It's gonna win Golden Globes, the Oscars, Sundance. I'm gonna take it to every film festival, and it's gonna be the best fucking thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, Saul.
We could just try again if you want.
Of course I want you to try it again. What do you think I'm paying you for?
Hey, we're not getting paid.
Oh yeah. One thing I am glad I grew out of was that I had a bit of a temper when I was a kid. I was a little impatient. You could argue I might be a little too patient these days. Also, since we're talking about my old Roblox videos, I have to mention this guy at my Discord server who for the last 39 days has been asking me to remake my old Roblox Titanic film from 10 years ago. And I'll be honest, no. I mean, unless this is something people actually want, I can imagine it would be just as bad as it was when I made it, but let me know in the comments, I guess. But seriously though, Roblox was during a time in my life where I was trying all kinds of different projects, and making videos especially was a huge part of my childhood. Roblox just felt like a big sandbox to try all kinds of creative endeavors, and I think that's pretty cool. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm starting to sound like a walking advertisement for Roblox Incorporated, but trust me, Roblox had plenty of bad stuff too. Like crappy games, bots, trolls, hackers, entitled elitists, predators, weird updates, and of course when tickets were around, there was a big market for completely destroying the economy by any means necessary. I guess that's why they're gone now. My experience with Roblox Incorporated has been mutually beneficial, and as a third-party associate, I enjoy everything this unique platform has to offer. I'm having a blast. I rated 5 stars. It's perfect. Well, okay, fine. It's great. All good. And okay, fine, whatever. Maybe I'm a little guilty of that one time where I made a game called Find the Purple Brick for 1,000 Robux. You can probably figure out the punchline. I still feel bad about that 10 years later, but nobody really fell for it anyway, so no harm done. But nobody's perfect, and no game is perfect either. So for this video, I really took the time to bring myself down memory lane, diving deep into everything modern Roblox has to offer. I want to look at the pros and the cons, and ask a few important questions about Roblox in 2020. Questions like, is it really that much different? Does it feel different? And is it any better or worse than it was when I left nearly a decade ago? It sucks. Did you even play it? Nah, but I saw a meme about it, and it was really unfunny. Oh. I'm sorry to hear. Roblox is a game that's always changing. The first thing I noticed is that there's a much different vibe when you first go to the website. First of all, the landing page is fairly simple, with its only purpose being to create an account or log into your current one. Also, making an account is a lot easier now. You pretty much jump into it right away, leaving you to figure out how the buttons work. Then you can go right to the games page and see all of the front page games. What's popular, top rated, roleplay, adventure, etc. But instead of those big square thumbnails I'm familiar with, now all you see is little tiny flashy icons, and a lot of them are very professional looking and made in Blender with the help of various artists. According to the data, Roblox is very, very popular on mobile devices, so it makes sense why they did that. Then you check out the avatar shop, which is a mix of user-generated content and stuff made by Roblox. But if you first joined and you wanted to buy a hat or something, you don't get 10 tickets a day anymore. You actually have to buy Robux or get a premium membership. And speaking of premium, I have to say, it's weird not saying Builders Club anymore, because for the first 7 years I've played Roblox, I used to call it Builders Club. There were 3 types of tiers: Builders Club, Turbo Builders Club, and Outrageous Builders Club. But now it's just one. You're either premium or you're not, which, you know, know, fair enough, I guess. So let's say you want to buy some Robux. So you go to the page. It has a bunch of fancy 3D cover art describing the benefits of getting Robux every month. I tried it out for a bit. It wasn't really worth my money. And I gotta say, the website does definitely look a lot more modern. It's super minimalistic and straight to the point. And like I mentioned in my old video, the Roblox logo really does look like a Cheez-It. At this point, I think we've all accepted that fact. Now I want Cheez-Its, but I can't help but feel at first glance it's missing some of the charm that the old website had. There used to be a little video in the corner, some info about what the game is, and the website itself was mostly accessible without an account. Now it's just a sign-up page and a little capture thing where you tilt an animal and a ball. It's generally just designed in a way where you can jump in and play games in just a minute or two. And while it serves that purpose well, it's also missing some of the wackiness and excitement that came with checking the forums every day. Christmas events, Halloween events, egg hunts, earning tickets, seeing those little announcement banners every morning. And events for the most part are pretty much gone, and when they do make events, they're often pretty buggy or just not that good. Not to mention, I did play the egg hunt in 2020, and it was pretty underwhelming. I'm just not sure I'd have the same experience jumping into it in 2020 than I did in 2008 when I was playing it for the first time. If I had no idea what Roblox was and I clicked on this website, I don't know what it is. But something I do have to keep in mind is I might not necessarily be the target audience anymore, and I have to respect that after 14 years, Roblox really has changed a lot. A lot of companies really have been moving in the minimalistic direction, so I'm not surprised that Roblox has been doing that too. I guess I was just surprised at how minimalistic it really is now. Roblox has always been and continues to be a game that thrives on word of mouth, so I have to believe that despite the minimalism, people are probably gonna know what this game is when they jump into it already. It's designed to appeal to the mainstream, and now that it's an incredibly popular platform, it just makes sense to make it easily accessible to the majority of people, mostly just playing Roblox to play games, and there's a lot of interesting games to play, so judging by the data and the incredible numbers Roblox is bringing in every month, it's clearly doing something right. So with that being said, I might just be feeling a little nostalgic, so yeah. Not bad. Alright, so let's talk about the gameplay. So when I talk about gameplay, it's really important to see what's good about the catalog, what's bad about it, are there any repeating patterns, is there anything that could be improved, because the look and feel of each game really varies depending on what kind of game it is. Some games push the boundaries of what Roblox can do in amazing new ways, and others are fairly simple. There's Arsenal, and then there's Funny Thanos game. There's Fashion Famous. And you can also beat people up or get a divorce. Then there's games that are somewhere in the middle. Like, they're not great, but they're not terrible either. Like, you ever find yourself just mindlessly flickering through Netflix only to realize that 90% of the catalog is kinda lame? Well, Roblox is starting to do that too. There's definitely a huge incentive to make games with good enough replay value that it stays on the front page for a very long time and thus rakes in the big bucks. Makes a lot of money. But fortunately for Roblox, I will say there is a good 10% of the games on there that are very solid. It might mean digging through piles and piles of whatever. You'll find something pretty cool if you look hard enough. But the problem is that they can be kind of hard to find. Now that you can monetize your games, certain patterns are just tried and true. You can check the front page and just find a lot of recycled concepts. And that doesn't mean those games are necessarily bad. It's just after checking the front page every week and seeing the same types of role-playing games, it gets a bit repetitive. But I also think there's a lot of good original Roblox games that are pretty cool to see. Considering the fact that Roblox Studio itself has improved so much, this means that you will literally see remakes of actual games but made on Roblox. Stuff like Among Us, Minecraft, Fortnite, because so much more funding has been put into Roblox Studio to make it as good as it is. They make it super easy for developers to play around with all kinds of new features, like meshes and mesh deformation, model rigging, audio, custom materials and shaders, physics updates, dynamic per pixel lighting, new script editor, all pretty cool stuff. And the only reason I'm mentioning all of these updates is because it gives developers a lot more flexibility. And when developers have a lot more options, it makes the gameplay significantly better in return. Not to mention the players have more options too, like controller support, meaning you can play Roblox on an Xbox controller. And also the fact that there's now VR support, meaning you can play Roblox on an Oculus Rift, which I never thought I'd say. Like, I just remember being impressed by a Flappy Bird clone made with nothing but GUIs and code, but I guess that's not super impressive anymore when you can literally make an entire Steam game on Roblox. Stuff that I would have never expected to see back in 2008. Like, honestly, some of these games are even barely recognizable as Roblox games, putting the bar higher than I ever thought possible. Like, I'm just saying, 10-year-old me would be freaking out if he saw that games like Portal and Half-Life could be replicated this well in Roblox Studio. It's all pretty cool stuff. And then some games are also just really interesting experiments, pieces of art, or games that aren't really games at all. Games like Roblox Library, Universal Studios, Roblox History Museum Light, Disney World, Spider-Man Simulator, and every simulator you can imagine, Ultimate Driving, No Anxiety, all kinds of interesting games. Then some games are just genuinely fun to play. These are the kind of games that have super smooth controls, satisfying gameplay, and honestly keep me up all night. Games like Ragdoll Mayhem, Parasite, Gravity Gunner, Word Bomb, Entry Point, Black Hawk Rescue Mission 5, Doomspire Brick Battle, Robot 64, and of course Arsenal, which I probably have more hours in than any of these other games combined. There's even a few games I used to play over 10 years ago that are still popular today, which goes to show that if a game is good, people are gonna keep playing it. And that's kinda cool. And I don't know, I just think diving into Roblox again for the first time in years has given me a newfound appreciation for how much these games and the engine they were made in have evolved over time. But you gotta admit, despite all the new flashy updates, sometimes it's nice to just play something really stupid, pointless, or weirdly fun. That's one thing I've always loved about Roblox. You can be surrounded by impressive works of art while at the same time playing stupid games about recycling, making pizza, being a dog, getting a divorce, running from Thanos, any stupid idea you can think of. If you're just looking for a really stupid game to play on a Saturday night, you'll probably find it. If you're looking for an amazing piece of art that crashes your computer, you'll definitely find that too. I just feel like there's an abundance of groundbreaking creativity that makes me feel pretty inspired and hopeful for the direction Roblox is going. It's just hard for me to find negative things to say about the gameplay on Roblox. It really feels like stepping into a time machine and just seeing all kinds of new crazy stuff that I never would have thought Roblox would have. It makes you think about how far it's come in the past 10 years. Roblox has actually reached a point where these games are something to be taken seriously, and I really appreciate that. And I hope to see even more of it. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about features, I guess you could call the oof sound a feature, right? I mean, if you know anything about Roblox at all, you know the classic oof sound. And I just learned recently that it apparently comes from a game called Messiah in the early 2000s, and when they found out Roblox has been using it for over a decade, they of course filed a copyright dispute, and that means we might not hear the lovable oof sound when you know, get oofed. The creator of the sound said on Twitter that it's an honor that something I created 20 years ago has become so iconic and a part of pop culture. I just need to be fairly compensated, and I've never been cheap. And you know what? Fair enough, I guess. It's just one of those things that's been around since the very beginning, and to hear that it might go away soon is pretty strange. But of course, that's not the only thing that's gonna change. There's rumors going around that you might have to pay a 100 Robux fee for every shirt or pant you make. It's supposed to be a way of combating botting and spam related to copying other people's clothes or transferring money to other accounts, but I can see how these fees can build up if making clothes is your hobby. And I'll be honest, taking money out of my pocket every single time I want to make a shirt sounds really frustrating, and I hope they don't do that. But one feature I do think is pretty cool is that people can actually make hats now. Well, actually only some people can. It's a very small group of people who have to apply to get accepted to the program. It's called user-generated content. One problem with it though is that apparently the selection process is very picky. And I've actually seen a lot of pretty talented 3D modelers just get rejected multiple times for no reason, but then some of the laziest people get accepted right away. I'm hoping this process becomes a little less frustrating as time goes on, but the idea of it is really cool. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. And then there's this weird thing called Arthro, and well, it looks kind of weird. Even a little disorienting sometimes, to be honest. Something I've been trying to keep in mind is that back when the 2.0 body came out and the bacon hairs and any other big update that's come out, I was just one of many people who were always the first to complain about updates like these. But then when you remember that it's completely optional, everyone starts to get used to it. Because at the end of the day, it's really my subjective opinion that I feel like this update looks a little too weird, and I still have a hard time getting used to it. This could also be another case of my nostalgia talking for me. I really don't know. It's the same thing with a lot of the faces that came out a couple years ago, and I'm not sure how much I like that. Overall though, while everything has a new coat of paint on it, a lot of it has been kind of the same since 2013. They changed a few names of things, but at its core, a lot of the tools and features you come to understand about Roblox haven't changed as much as you might expect. It's not perfect, far from it at times, but I am a little optimistic that it does seem like Roblox is listening to the community a little more nowadays, and while I might not agree with everything they do, I can tell they're trying, and I can respect that. Because occasionally it does feel like Roblox takes one step forward and two steps back, but updates like UGC have a lot of potential, and it'd be nice to see more updates like that in the future. I'm just hoping for the best. So like I said earlier, when I played Roblox, most of the talking was on the forums. That was the place I always went to see what people thought about new updates, egg hunts, events, or whatever. There was also a section called Off Topic where you could just talk about whatever you wanted, aka pretty much just Twitter. Seriously dude, you gotta get off your phone. I am the phone. But seriously though, I did use the forums a lot. And I remember there being a pretty noticeable pattern of cynicism, negativity, and a weird love-hate relationship everyone had with the staff and the game overall. Some people on there used to have a pretty big ego. People wore their join dates on their sleeve like it was important or something. It was even a little toxic sometimes, but I'll admit, it wasn't all bad. I met some cool people there, and in fact, one of the first times I learned about the forums was when a guy went on there to get some people to send me nice comments about my awful t-shirt with flames on it. I know I already mentioned this in my old video, but I really wanted to appreciate appreciate the fact that it was little things like this that really got me into the community in the first place. The forums had its highs and lows, but much like social media today, you kept coming back to it out of a morbid curiosity or because you had nothing better to do. But then of course after the Quackity raids and a bunch of other things, the forums were eventually taken down and people started going to other places like Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, pretty much every other social media. Twitter especially, specifically a place called the ROBLOX Twitter community. And I'm pretty sure that's where most of the talking is that I've seen nowadays. I followed a bunch of Roblox people, I kind of kept in touch with the community, see how it's doing nowadays, and I can say that it does remind me a lot of the forums back in 2014. Surprisingly not too different. Roblox has always had a certain culture to it. There's plenty of drama and negativity on there. There's plenty of nice people too, but it's hard to define the community in a few simple words because as much as Roblox has changed in 14 years, all the people who play Roblox don't necessarily fit into one category. Because when you decide to invest your time in Roblox, you might make a few friends, maybe you'll realize you love trading stuff or making YouTube videos, you might like making clothes or joining war clans, and you might find a lot of people who share that interest. And at that point, you're left in a very specific niche of Roblox. And in my opinion, I believe the sub-communities of Roblox are where you really start to learn more about what Roblox is and what you can do with it. It's not until you talk to people that you realize that there's more to Roblox than you previously thought. The first couple months you play Roblox, you might just play the games and that's it. But when you talk to the community, you see that there's a lot more to it. But looking at the bigger picture of the Roblox community, with or without the forums, it's a community that's been around for over a decade. As people come and go, certain attitudes, egos, and mindsets stay the same, and others go completely left field. Sometimes Roblox as a company does something stupid, removes something, does a pointless update, and people might understandably complain about it. Maybe sometimes Roblox does something good and maybe it gets praised, or they might just find something else to complain about. And sure, I think in the long term, it definitely is weird to see how corporate and businessy Roblox is nowadays, but I think the people who play it haven't really followed the same path. Not everyone at least. There's definitely a lot of developers who are 100% just in this for the money, but I think especially the people who've stuck around for years and years, they always have the choice to say, yep, I'm done. And it's like I said at the beginning of this video, there's always been a weird addictive thing about Roblox that I can't quite explain. Once you get into it and you get into it deep, you find yourself playing it every day, you find yourself checking it all the time, you just do. And a big reason for that is the community. The community is a really important part of Roblox. You could even argue it's the most important considering how community-led everything on Roblox is nowadays. Of course it does feel like Roblox is missing that personal touch. It doesn't feel like the staff are really that much in tune with the game as much as they used to be. They're not really the ones coming up with unique events and stuff. You could even say that a lot of the charm that Roblox previously had is maybe not there so much anymore. But as much as we don't want to admit it, nothing stays the same forever. But I think a lot of people hold on to Roblox because of the tools and resources it has. I respect all the people on Roblox using the resources they have to make some pretty cool stuff, making friends, forming relationships that'll last years and years ahead. I pretty much started making videos because of Roblox, because there are some friends I still know today that I met on Roblox 10 years ago. Friends I made while I was learning how to make videos, games, clothes, all kinds of stuff. And in that sense, I'm honestly grateful for Roblox. I learned a lot of things that I would have never learned otherwise. I think the community can be really cool sometimes, and as easy as it might be to focus on the negative things, there's also a lot of positive stuff to look at too. There's no denying that the direction the company is going is one that feels just a little bit grayer and a little less charming, but that doesn't mean it's void of that stuff. Quite the contrary actually, because the creativity and passion I've seen for Roblox has never really dimmed down. Because as these tools get better, so do the things that are made with it. And you need a good community who knows how to use those tools well, and within Roblox, there's thousands of different communities doing millions of different things. And forgive me if I'm starting to sound cheesy, but this was a game that I played a lot. It shaped me to be the person I am today. While Roblox is definitely not perfect, it never has been, I doubt it ever will be, I really just want the best for Roblox going forward, and I feel incredibly nostalgic for this game, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So to finish off this video, I actually invited a few people on to give their thoughts about Roblox in 2020. I wanted to get a few different perspectives from people who really understand Roblox at its core. You might recognize a few of these.
I think Roblox has improved a lot in the past decade, actually. A few years ago, there was a lot of overbearing problems like lack of communication, or just really low-effort games in general, but now the developers actually communicate on a fairly consistent basis, and the updates have been, at least for the most part, taking steps in the right direction. Roblox still has a communication issue when it comes to transparency on updates, but compared to a few years ago, it's definitely gotten better, and the games have also gotten light years ahead in terms of production quality, and it really shows shows that people genuinely care about the product they are presenting to the world. Overall, I think there's a lot of great stuff to come for the platform in the future, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
I believe that 2020 will be the year for Roblox in terms of updates, games, and something called UGC. UGC is user-generated content. This lets hand-picked developers and YouTubers who are partnered with Roblox make hats and stuff. In terms of updates, Roblox actually recently just tested out a new video streaming feature, which lets people put approved video clips into their games. While I personally think the front page games are pretty boring, a lot of people still find enjoyment out of them, and I can't be mad at them for that. If we're talking community though, yeah, I really don't like it. It's filled with drama, accusations, bad people, liars, and pretty much everything in the book. It really sucks, and I want to see it improve, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. It's introduced me to some of the best people in my life, but also some of the worst people. I still play the game fairly often though, and I have a bit of fun here and there with my friends, which is the best way to experience the game in my eyes. I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for the platform, and I'm excited to see it grow further.
To summarize, the main thing I feel about it now is just nothing. I've been through so many years of just like being upset at various decisions they've made and whatnot that it's just like, I'm so numb to it, they couldn't possibly do anything more to make me upset, you know what I mean? There's nothing to be happy about, there's nothing to be mad about, it's just a completely lifeless corporate husk of what used to be something I enjoyed as a kid. I would like to believe I'm not speaking purely from nostalgia there. I do think there is a reason people hold those earlier years so highly other than just nostalgia. Like, there genuinely was something there. But unfortunately, it's very transparently a business model thing, which is why I don't really play Roblox at all. Outside of making videos and whatnot, or occasionally messing around with friends or something, but even then, it's like, my friends are pretty bored of it too. There's just, I don't know.
Oh, for the last time now. You wanna know what I think of Roblox in 2020? Well, I'll tell you. Roblox in 2020 is actually pretty alright. It may not be something I find myself playing every day, but every once in a while, I can enjoy playing the game with friends and have a fun time. The game actually got plenty of hidden gems among it. Sure, there's plenty of low quality stuff in there. Still, I'm looking at you, Ubiquitous. But I'm rather surprised with how much you can actually do in the game nowadays. Game good. Just game good. Now get off my lawn!
Surprisingly, Roblox hasn't changed in spirit, if that makes sense. Of course, I'm a fossil from 2008, and it was very different back then, but in the recent 6 or 5 years... Sure, Roblox added many new features, improved the engine and attracted a much greater audience, but the trends, the popular types of games, groups, problems, and the general subculture, if you can call it like that, is very consistent. Even today, it's still a pretty interesting platform though, and should be very valuable for people starting with game development, because it allows you to learn how to work with an actual audience.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really want to thank them for taking the time, and I agree with a lot of what they said. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, good vibes, everyone. Hey, thanks again for watching the video. This video was really fun to make, and it's honestly been in the back of my mind for a while now. And I know I always say this, but I'm really sorry it took so long. I appreciate you guys being patient, because 2020 was honestly a pretty tough year, and I wasn't expecting this video to take as long as it did. But I'm happy to say I already got a few other videos on the back burner right now, so hopefully I'll be making a lot more stuff this year. One thing I want to mention, by the way, is I have a merch shop over on Teespring. We recently added a couple new designs just a few days ago. We got bagged milk, I stayed up all night, good vibes. I ordered a few samples last night because I really want to see them in person. And if you happen to get any of these yourself, feel free to go over to my Twitter at Pengicitis1 and send me a picture of any of the merch you get, whether it's a sticker, shirt, or a mug. If you do that, I'll mention you in the next video. There's a link in the description. There might also be a little Teespring bar under the video too. Another thing I want to announce is a cool project I've been working on with a couple friends called Amoeba Network. We look for all kinds of interesting indie games and we basically talk about them every month or so. I'm the voiceover for the videos and they've been really fun to make, so feel free to check that out in the description too. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I hope to get the next video done very soon, and if you want to follow my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm mostly active on Twitter, so if you want to see what I'm doing pretty much day to day, you can check that. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.